How's it going? Again, I am live streaming from separate two separate devices here. So I'll be watching my chat here. I didn't turn it off, I hope. I'll be watching this here. You guys, Oh my god. My something's gone wrong with my YouTube screen, okay? When I look at do those lights look like they're flickering? I want to thank you for the prayer yesterday. Matt is cured. Last time he had the flu, it took nearly 3 weeks. This was a matter of a day. Hey, prayer is a powerful thing for anybody. I've got a problem. Okay, I'm going to be looking at the chat for Life with the Wolfies here, and on here, I'm going to be looking at the chat for our half acre homestead. Let me just get my hair organized. I don't really like doing much with it while it's drying. Hey, now I'm not going to be able to say hi to everybody because I got two things going on here. But Sherry Leach, Amy Boito, Roxanne Tracy, Elaine Marie, Julie Atkins. Hey, Tanya. Barb Jones, Dorothy A. Hey, Seashell, and Angie Mack. So, yeah, I trimmed my bangs. I trimmed my bangs again, and I don't do a very good job of it. I just do it so that I have a little bit of bangs when I put my headband on, right? Good morning, Teresa. Now, I just bought new hair bands. Where the heck did they go? Just regular hair bands. Because I'm going to be doing something different with them at a later date. I can't find my hair bands. So we'll just put this one on for now. Okay. Dorothy. Thank you, Dorothy, for what? That's wonderful. And you're right. You're right, Dorothy. I am glad. I didn't mean to sound okay. I quite literally just got out of bed an hour ago. Okay? Literally an hour ago. I woke up with sour stomach and feeling nauseated and just limp, like a limp dish rag, right? So I phoned Howie, or I texted Howie, said, I can't get out of bed. And he said, then don't. Hey, Karen, how are you, KB? Aces, Wilma, Tanya. Yeah, don't look at my hair. Well, I just like to fluff it up a bit. My hair used to be really, really uber thick, and now it's thin. I got my soon-to-be 2-year-old nephew his first tricycle and Duplo Legos. Oh, that's wonderful. That's awesome. Prayers healed my eye when it was damaged and I could have gone blind. My sight went from 4,400 back to normal in 48 hours. Well, there you go. There you go, right? I mean, seriously. Think about it this way, right? The power of intention. Yes, I'm fluffing my hair. The power of intention when it comes to connecting with your higher power or your faith. Is a very powerful thing. It really is a powerful thing. And now I look like I got a mullet. God help me. Give me a second here, folks. It's my first cup of tea of the day. If you didn't say don't look at my hair. So I woke up this morning feeling really crappy. Yeah, remember how yesterday I was really tired? Well, I woke up today feeling not just exhausted, but does anybody know what I mean when I say sour stomach? Holy crap, Seashell. Denise, it's been a miserable flu season for many folks. Personally, haven't been as ill since my recovery days. Well, I hear you. I got sick last. Mullet business in front and party in the back. Yeah, but I didn't layer all this. This is still here. Ugh, it's driving me nuts. So anyway, um, well, it's not that I don't feel like eating, it's just that it's sour stomach. You know what I mean? Like nothing I eat seems to do anything for me. And if I overindulge in edibles at night, I wake up nauseous. No, this is not about edibles. This is about toffees and cookies and chocolate and chips and Chinese food. You know what I mean? It's like the holidays are over and my stomach's sour. That's all. The holidays are over and it's like, okay, it's time to get back to simple eating. So tonight, hey Melissa. Hey, good morning, Debbie. So I'm getting distracted. This is what part of not being well does to me is I get distracted. Hang on. Yeah, way too much junk food, Linda. Way too much junk food. So I am yeah, too many sweets. Exactly. Hey, Sassy. Exactly, Esther Grace. Bone broth will help. Well, what I've gotten this in the crock today is like I just got out of bed at noon. You know what I mean? And I put greasy out and I stoked the fire and I got soup in the crock. I mix 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Oh no, I can't do that. No, no, won't work. Trust me, I have a weird stomach. So I had a bit, probably a half a pound of leftover roast beef. And I chopped that up and I threw it in the crock. And I threw in some frozen, I had saved from jar of potatoes on Christmas Day and a jar of carrots on Christmas Day. I'd save the water and put it in the freezer. So I put that in the crock with the beef. Then I added a quart of vegetable broth, a pint of celery, a jar of sludgy potatoes, some dehydrated carrots, and a handful of frozen onions. And a cube. I've only got 2 cubes left of my. I used to buy this MSG free. I buy this MSG free bouillon powder, beef bouillon powder, onion soup base. They're soup base mix, soup bases. But the thing is it's MSG free, and even in a jar, if it sits in your cupboard long enough, it goes into like an OXO cube. So I had to like chop it in half. And so I threw half of one of those in. And then just before supper, I'm going to throw in some barley. Beef. Hey, Kathy Ponder. Beef barley. Southern Indiana. If I have some prime rib that has to be eaten up today, I need to go across the street for some suitable bread for French dips. Well, I'm going to be starting some new. I have a ton of canned mixed veggies. You can dehydrate them if you want, and use the broth. Use the liquid from the jars in soup. Like you can freeze that, and you can dehydrate those. But I mean, without the liquid, they won't actually have a lot of nutrients. Absolutely. I mean, my granddaughter has asked for it anytime her tummy didn't feel sick, she could talk. I need to plant some this year. Really? You can plant barley? Well, I mean, it's like a grain, isn't it? But I don't have room for that. All right. I missed that. What was that? Put some cornstarch, potato starch in your beef bouillon. Oh, okay. Somebody asked me yesterday if you could do an annual subscription to my Patreon. I went in to my Patreon and I checked, and you can. And you save 5% if you do. Just saying. You're welcome. I've been drinking ginger ale and ginger tea, eating crackers since Christmas Day, snuggled in my chair with blanket. I've been eating like store-bought crackers and just a lot of store-bought food. And I'm just done. I want to go back to my simple meals. But I'm going to be doing some canning videos soon and some meal prep for the freezer videos. So, like for instance, I'm going to be doing all that ground beef I got. I'm going to make some meatloaves and freeze them because there's nothing I love more. There's nothing I love more than grabbing a cooked meatloaf out of the freezer, throwing a jar of potatoes, a jar of carrots, or a jar of vegetables and an onion, and covering it with some gravy, and boom, turn it on low, and you got supper later. Because everything's cooked. It doesn't even take long because the meatloaf is cooked, and the potatoes are cooked, and the carrots are cooked. The only thing raw is the onion. I also get those ginger candy to suck on. I also keep crystallized ginger. I had some crystallized ginger. I know, meatloaf. Do you have any good pea soup recipe? I got a ham bone in the Instapot, making broth with it now. Absolutely. It's easy as falling off a log, Elaine. You take that soup bone and you do whatever you do to make broth, right? Normally, what I would do is I would throw that ham bone in a crock pot and chop an onion in and pour cold water, always cold water. Why? Because it draws the center out of the bone. I don't know. It draws all the nutrients from the inside. If you start hot, it kind of cooks the outside and it doesn't draw out the nutrients from the inside. So you take your ham bone and you throw it in the crock pot, and then you chop in about a cup and a half of onion, and you throw a bay leaf in, and you just let that simmer all night. Let it go for a good 12, 24 hours on low. Then you take out the bone and the bay leaf, and you add split peas. So if you have like a full lard, if you have like 3 quarts or 4 quarts of broth, put in 1 cup of split yellow peas or green peas. That's it. That's pea soup. Boom, in a heartbeat. Just ordered my first canner. Good for you, Sharon. Peppermint oil behind the ears, wrist diffuser. Tuna or chicken casserole with cream and mushroom soup, easy digestion meal. Oh my God. I remember back in the day, when Howie and when Briar was first born, we'd gone from 2 incomes to 1 because I used to babysit. And then I got pregnant with Briar, and I had to give up my babysitting because one of the kids got violent. It kicked me in the stomach when I was 6 months pregnant, having a temper tantrum. He never had a temper tantrum when it was just me and him and my kids, like, the kids I was looking after. And that's okay. You can chop it and put it in now. Like, put it in with your peas and your stuff. And so when we moved, I was 9 months pregnant with Briar, and we moved, and we went from 1 income or 2 incomes to 1. Now, my income wasn't great, but it sure made a difference, right? And I had to go where I would do. Now, listen, we're talking 30 years ago, okay? I had to do a month's worth of groceries for 4 people, one of them an infant on formula, with $150 a month. Now, 30 years ago, that still wasn't a lot. Our rent was like $650. And we were bringing in, our income went down. I'm sorry, Life with the Wolfies. Hang on a second. Oh, am I back? I'm going to give you. Sorry about that, folks. For some reason, it dropped. Because I am running both of these devices on Wi-Fi. So, yes, I'm back. If it happens again, no, it was me. If it happens again, I will drop the link for Life with the Wolfies in here, and you can just come on over to Life with the Wolfies. So, anyway, on $150 a month, yes, I'm here. On 100, I know I'm talking to our half-acre homestead. Our half-acre homestead, my old cell phone just kind of dropped the signal. So, I had to shop really carefully because we were smokers back then too. So now that the budget just got a whole lot narrow. So every once in a while, like this was before I started, like I always cooked from scratch, but this is before I started reading labels, right? Unpacking boxes for the last 3 months. So sick of it. I hear you, Stephen. I've got to start packing up Christmas stuff this week. Oh, okay, Tanya. Hey, Pete. Mrs. Pete. Hi, how are you? Hey, Willows. Kimberly. Lacey Black. So anyway, what's going on? What's going on, Bourbon? What's going on? What's going on? So hello to everyone. The last year has been hell on earth, not getting any better. Too much to put here, and nobody would believe this, how much craft. I bet. I bet. You know what, Bourbon? You can email me anytime, guys. If you just want to talk, like I can't promise I will give you a three paragraph reply. But if you just want to be heard and know that what you say will go nowhere else, then email me. connectedheartsfamily@gmail.com. Okay. And just, if I can help, I will. But sometimes it just means, hey, Julie, sometimes it just means that, we just need to be heard. So anyway, I got all this hamburger. Well, anyway, all right. I know it's irritating because I bounce back and forth. And this happens because I go squirrel every time I see something in the chat. So this was before I started reading labels, and I would buy things like, they would go on sale for 99 cents, hamburger helper, instant mashed potatoes, tuna helper. Oh, my family hated tuna helper because I would turn it into a casserole. I would take tuna helper, right? And I would mix it up with a can of tuna and all the stuff. I don't even remember what it looked like, what you got in the box, but I would add onions and vegetables and all the breadcrumbs and stuff. And I would make a tuna casserole out of a can of tuna and a 99-cent box of tuna helper and whatever frozen vegetables and fresh vegetables I had at hand. My family, I'm lucky I can get Howie to eat a tuna sandwich after those years. I hate tuna helper. Well, but now it's just as easy now to make your own casseroles. Like when you start reading all of the crap that's in those labels. Hey, Jody. Absolutely sending prayers for you, Bourbon. Absolutely. Somebody said prayers for you, Bourbon. If you can't see all of the chat, it's because I'm simultaneously streaming from our half-acre homestead and from Life with the Wolfies. I am believing 2023 will be better. I'm going to work on making it better. Absolutely. Right? We can be as sour as we want with what goes on in our lives. And I'm not saying you're being sour, Bourbon. I'm not saying that. Because sometimes life just hits us like a juggernaut. You know what I mean? And does anybody know what a juggernaut is? It is an unstoppable moving force. Sometimes life can hit us like a bus. Okay? And the truth is, we take a certain amount of time to let that sink in. Like today, I felt like crap this morning, sour stomach and all. And I texted Howie, it's like I needed permission to rest. And he said, stay in bed. And just having permission, I stayed in bed. And then I realized it wasn't going to help any staying in bed. So I got up, I, did my things. But Tuna, cheesy, and creamy helpers. The problem with those box things is they're full of preservatives and chemicals. Never had tuna patties, but love salmon patties. Well, I have a can of pink salmon. Like Howie's like, well, I said, I'm gonna make you tuna. And he goes, well, don't we have any salmon? I said, yeah, we have one can. I gave him one can of sockeye salmon. Like I put it in, like I made him into sandwiches for his lunch. And I said, you do realize you just ate our supper. So today he got tuna, but I'm going to be making salmon patties soon. I have pink salmon. That'll have to do. But once I started reading ingredients, I started realizing that a lot of these things I can make on my own without the chemical additives, right? I mean, yes, I buy instant mashed potatoes now, but not the kind with 13 ingredients, the kind with 2 ingredients or 1 ingredient. Potatoes. You know what I mean? That's right, Angie Mac. Sometimes when you're broke, right? That's where, like, someone called it Hoover stew, where I made hot dog soup one day because all I had was a can of tomatoes, 3 hot dogs, some frozen mixed vegetables, and an onion. And I threw in a handful of dry pasta just as it was bubbling. My kids thought that was the I just thin sliced. I mean, you do things, to feed your family that your kids don't realize at the time that you're just absolutely broke, right? I've been craving seafood so much and I just can't afford to indulge myself. Well, try, something a little different. Maybe try and get some cheap fish sticks or something. Add some rice. Done. Exactly. I'm supposed to take my brother to town today, but my stomach was yucky, so I didn't go. Well, I mean, I feel better now that I got tea in my stomach and I've had a shower, right? So I'm feeling a lot better. My dad used to say, if you can't pronounce it, stuff on the labels, there's a good chance that it's a byproduct of making something that they weren't allowed to dispose of. Yeah. Folks, I'm going to give you the link for the live stream. If you wanted to make your own instant potato flakes, could you boil them and shred them and dehydrate them? I tried that in the past. But I tried it spreading out mashed potatoes. So I don't think I did a very good job. I married a Filipino guy. Add rice to anything, make a meal. Absolutely. I wouldn't buy tilapia if it's, especially, you watch where your tilapia comes from. Because if it comes from China, it's they feed their fish and stuff, their farm raised fish and stuff, on sewage, practically human fecal matter and everything. So I don't know, but maybe that'll be something I'll try. I'm reading the Little House on the Prairie series in my special ed classroom. Well, there you go. That's wonderful. I know, I wouldn't buy tilapia if it came from China, right? I just wouldn't. I just wouldn't. I mean, yeah, I have, everyone goes, oh, I wouldn't use those canning lids. They're from China. So's all the crap you buy at the dollar store, right? However, be careful when it comes to food products. Yes, I buy 99-cent cans of mushrooms that are from China. Yes, some of the stuff in my cupboards is from China, but mostly it's American or Canadian. Hey, Robin Rose, I couldn't get, if I go to the Maxi, which is like a no frills in Quebec, and I can get mushrooms from China for 89 cents a can, I think it is 99 cents a can. If I go anywhere else and I try and buy Canadian mushrooms, they're $1.50 to $1.99 a can. So there are times when discretion is the better part of valor and you choose your battles. All right. I am not a wholly organic person. I can't afford to be. But the truth is, I'm missing chat or something here. But the truth is, you know, go pick up the pecans in your backyard. Absolutely. Is 99% of anything is from China. How easy would it be for them to just kill us off slowly with poison? Seriously, if they really wanted to. We have a lot of trust for things in things we have no control over and don't see. So you have to pick your battle. What kind of food dehydrator do you recommend? You know what? I have Nesco. And my second Nesco kind of warped a bit. So I'm actually thinking of looking into, like, I like my Nescos because the fruit leather trays are actually concaved. So when you pour liquid on them, they don't spill all over the place. I'm thinking of an Excalibur, yes. But I mean, we'll see. I don't eat anything grown or produced in China, Taiwan, any other Eastern Asian country. I follow the China Show on YouTube, and they have tested the water, and I've seen what's done in China. Yeah, exactly. You know, I dump those mushrooms out, and I don't give a shit if they're canned. Okay, in boiling water. Okay, I rinse them before they go in. I rinse them, right? So, I mean, we can blame all we want about, things coming from China and our lack of quality. But you know what? We just keep buying that crap, don't we? I know they're pricey, but they are the bomb. They are. So I have a Nesco and an Excalibur. I prefer the Excalibur all the way. Well, there you go. I'm not meaning. Well, the thing is I don't mind buying things from Europe, because Europe has a lot more stricter standards than even Canada and the U.S. So when I go to Costco and I see, peaches from Greece or Brazil or whatever, no problem. Boom, I'll buy them. Monsanto was eradicated only because Bayer bought them. Bayer did buy them. Bayer did buy Monsanto. And the thing is if you look at the company Bayer, it's a pharmaceutical company. What are they doing meddling with our food? Right? But these are things I don't necessarily talk about on here. I'm going to be taking down the trees, so get a nice good look at the Christmas tree. I'm going to be taking down the trees over the next few days. And it's going to be a big job for my living room Christmas tree because mice get into the stuff, right? So now I have to dump all the boxes and then make new boxes for the Christmas stuff to go into. I've seriously been boycotting China products. I refuse to support the CCP with money. They welded their own people. What? They welded their own people in their homes and starved them. Bayer is the parent company to Monsanto, so nothing really happened. Yeah. Same mem shows. It's the same thing, right? I honestly think we've just given too much. I have honestly believe I have given we have given way too much of our autonomy over our food and our drugs and our laws and our bylaws. We've given way too much power to people who don't live like us. They live up there somewhere. They haven't a clue. Like I know people who live in a totally different world because they live in a totally different world. Their life is totally different from mine. Like let's see. Is Angelina Jolie going to worry about reading labels? No, she's just going to make sure she buys everything organic. I'm just saying, I'm just using her name as an example, right? They don't even have to think about it. Okay? Because money's a tool, right? Money is a tool. And when, not everybody has to pick their battles like us poor. Well, we're not poor, but not everybody has to pick their battles. And not everybody can pick any battles at all. I know that there's people out there in Arizona, like when we had a mobile home in Arizona, in Peoria, right? When we had our mobile home, we would go there 3 times a year, and I would go to Walmart and buy, cheese and milk and butter and all those things, because sometimes we'd be there for 2 weeks, right? Oh, good for you. What a great Christmas gift, Willow. I protested when they sold Smithfield Pork Factory in Tar Heel, North Carolina. I called my lawmakers and told them it was a very bad thing. We would go and we would buy, and I'd go, my God, butter, $1.50 a pound. No, it was a few years ago, about 13 years ago, right? 13, 14 years ago. And cheese was shredded cheese was like $1.49 a bag, and all this stuff. And I'm used to, food in the United States doesn't necessarily taste the same as food in Canada. It's no wonder everybody puts hot sauce on everything, because food to me in the US is very flavorless, right? People go, hey, salt, pepper, and garlic. That's because that's all I need. I don't, but somebody send me. Now, what am I going to put this on? What am I going to put this on? So anyway, then we went to the 99-cent store. I don't know if they have them anywhere else but in Arizona. I went to the 99-cent store, and I forget what I was going there, buying toilet brushes and stuff, because we don't leave stuff there when we're not there, right? And they had food like cheese, shredded cheese and lunch meat and all this stuff in the coolers. And Howie goes, look, Bev, this cheese is only, everything in that store was 99 cents, right? They do have produce as well. I haven't been there in a long, long time. We haven't been to Arizona in many years, probably 10 years anyway. And you look at the label. This is when I really started looking at labels, was just before my channel took off. Or not took off, but before I started my channel. And I'm looking, I said, Howie, this isn't cheese. He said, well, this stuff's only 99 cents. I said, this isn't even cheese. It's a cheese-like product. Yeah. And the sad thing is there are people who live by shopping their groceries at 99-cent stores. They're not even getting, so probably 50% of what they're getting in food there is not even real food. So you've got all of these different levels of society, and they don't get it. They don't understand, people who have to follow living on a dime because that's all they got, right? Or they don't have wiggle room to pick their battles over whether they can afford Chinese mushrooms or Canadian mushrooms, or don't have any wiggle room at all when it comes to choice between canned mushrooms and fresh, or canned mushrooms from China or organic, or canned mushrooms from Canada or organic. Everybody has their own battles. Velveeta's cheese was originally named formaldehyde cheese. Well, I actually have a video on how you can make your own Velveeta cheese. And it's with gelatin and boiling water and powdered milk and cheddar. No formaldehyde in that at all. You can make your own processed cheese. And it ain't the goo they make there are many, many ways. Like somebody asked me recently, why aren't you doing your frugal living series anymore? I said, every time I do a pantry pull video, every time I do one of these live streams and we talk about this stuff, this is a frugal living video. I don't have to, like someone wants me to write down all the stuff and read off all these tips. You're getting them in every video now. The frugal living series on your tips and tricks on surviving and saving money, that was just because there was so much coming in all at once that I had to make a list and share them to get them all out to you. But we've gotten most of them out there. I get paid for all those what, Linda Bob? I miss the government cheese. Yep, love my commodity cheese. So if you don't want to buy processed cheese, make your own. Hey, Lori, I know you're late to the party and we're not going to be on here much longer because I have dishes to do and I have to start undecorating the trees. So if this is up here tomorrow, great. But between now and the rest of the week, I'm going to be undecorating, right? I know people say, oh, no, you leave your trees up till after New Year's or little Christmas or you know what I mean? No. For me, Christmas is over when Christmas Day is done, right? I know I have a mountain of dishes. Well, not a mountain of dishes. I've been getting on them. I don't use my dishwasher anymore. It's got to go. If you live anywhere near me, you can have government cheese. I took all the stuff down the next day. Well, I'm starting to. You know what's wild is it takes me just as long to undecorate as it does to decorate. Is that seasoning, Bev? Is what seasoning? Hi, Bobby Joe. Long time no see. Is what seasoning? Wick is who hooks people up with cheese. You got to have a kid under 5 or an elder. Oh, wow. What guide do you recommend for a new canner? Well, for starters. Oh, yeah, I know. Somebody sent me a bunch of these and some other seasoning packets. And I've got I just found my giant tiger card for my sister-in-law, Karen. Howie almost threw them out. They were in the bottom of a bag. Hey, Carolyn. I forget what I was just talking about. Oh, yeah. So the trees, everything has to come down. And for patrons, New Year's Eve, we are not going to have Freaky Friday this week. We're going to have a New Year's Eve party, patrons. I'm going to get on at 9 o'clock and I'm going to try and go for 3 hours. That means there's going to be a lot of pauses in between music and all that stuff. Hey, Copper Star 75. Try the seasonings on potato. And popcorn. Do you know what I like on popcorn? It's my tomato powder. My tomato powder. I just love tomato powder on popcorn. So yes, New Year's Eve, if you are a patron, let me, New Year's Eve, we're not having Freaky Friday. We will probably, I'm going to tell patrons in a minute. I'm going to be going live with my patrons in a little bit. And we're going to talk about New Year's Eve. Thank you, Zach. It is going to be a nice New Year's Eve. It is going to be a nice New Year. My daughter wants me to show her how to can after the first of the year. We got her and her husband a new pressure canner. Good for you. They gave me the commodity food cheese, not store vouchers. Tomato powder. It is really good. Bye. Gotta go. God bless. All right, Wanda. You take care, honey. Take care, sweetheart. So I'm going to be making meatloafs for the freezer. I'm going to be roasting and canning bone broth, making and canning bone broth. There are videos coming for our half-acre homestead, but until March, things are going to be a lot slower. I'm going to be working on my reading channel. I'm going to be working on other things. I want to get my Cooking with Cannabis started up again on Rumble. So that, hi, Autumn Leaf. So that's, there's stuff coming up, but guys, I'm taking not just the rest of the year, I'm taking the next couple of months easy, right? Working on my reading channel, undecorating, just, I've been going on live with my grandbaby. I've been going on FaceTime with Mel and Arthur and my grandbaby. Well, thank you, Linda Bob. I love my reading channel too. I just wish I had more time to run all these channels properly. Like I have Life with the Wolfies, Our Half Acre Homestead. I'm starting up Cooking with Cannabis again, but on Rumble. And I have my Rumble channel. And I have my reading channel. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I'm starting to realize why I'm so... You're not feeling well? Some food banks have senior boxes with the government cheese. I haven't been to a food bank in years, thank you, God. But I'm going to start getting things cleaned up, organized, and come February, we're going to start planting seeds and stuff again. But in the meantime, most of my streams on here are going to be hit and miss. Most of my videos on Our Half Acre Homestead for the next couple of months are going to be live streams like this, or if I'm doing a cooking video, like I didn't bother videoing my beef barley soup. I don't know why I didn't do that. What you're planting this year and next year? No, I'm waiting. I have to wait until I can afford my medical seeds, and then I will be ordering them, and I'm getting them from Britain this year. Last year I got them from a subsidiary of Crop King Seeds. It was called Rocket Seeds, I think. And 50% of them didn't work, and they never got back to me on it. They never sent me any replacements, anything. Now, it could have been my soil because I was having a lot of problems next year. Can somebody tell Julie Atkins in the chat what I mean by medical seeds? Let's just do this. So I'm not planting spaghetti squash this year. I'm planting more zucchini. I've already started going through my seeds, and I'm getting ready to share some seeds with folks. Hey, Debbie. And I got to figure out how I'm going to rotate my beds this year, because I'm changing things up. I'm not planting spaghetti squash. That took up 2 beds. I'm going to put carrots in there instead. I'm going to start my onions earlier because I want my Spanish onions to go, not to be that big, but to be that big. Right? So I did have a fantastic Christmas. It was busy. Oh yeah, cooking. I already have a channel on Rumble with Cooking with Cannabis, and I have some cannabis videos on my Beverly Wolfe Rumble channel, but I have to start all over from scratch with Rumble. So I have to get better with growing my spices. Well, I'm going to do a lot more herbs this year. I'm going to put in extra beds. And I said to Howie, I need a new set of pots and pans. Okay, Debbie, I'm glad you're here. I need a new set of pots and pans, and I want the kind with it because I've wrecked more pots and pans than, like, I just burned through crap. Stoves, freezers. Well, freezers I'm actually pretty good with. Hey, Liz, how are you? Planting my garden and starting some seeds this weekend. Well, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a piece of, big piece of wrapping paper or something, and I'm going to plot it. Actually, some of my Christmas wrap has grids on the back for cutting grids, which would make it really easy to line up. That's a great idea. I'm going to start working on deciding what I want to plant this year. I'm planting carrots this year because I don't necessarily trust, the supply chain anymore. So I have to plant my staples. I have to plant, carrots. I don't do potatoes because it doesn't matter how I do it. Potatoes just don't grow for me. The bugs drive them absolutely. They just forget it. Yeah, I can't grow potatoes here. I don't know why. The potato bugs, I have tried everything and they just destroy my potatoes. It's a waste of garden beds. I planted garlic in the fall, the end of October in one of my beds. And so I'm going to plant carrots, leeks, onions, parsnips. I'm not planting rutabagas this year because I still have some from last year and from this year just past. Yeah, I can't grow potatoes, Grampy. I can't. Feeding birds in my yard has worked for me. I didn't have to treat any on my garden beds last year for pests. I never thought about that. I never thought about that because I don't put anything on my gardens. I tried once and it never worked. So I'm not planting bush beans this year. I'm planting all pole beans. And I am going to make the trellis like I did for my spaghetti squash, but I'm going to do it for in my bean beds. So each bean bed is going to have a climbing trellis, but it's only going to go so far. Like I'm going to do 2 beds the same way I did the spaghetti squash and cross them over so that I have like an arch. But it's not going to ever be any higher than my head because then I won't be able to reach the beans. So I'm doing 4 beds of pole beans, 2 beds of carrots. I'm not going to count them right now. I'm doing pole beans, carrots, onions, leeks, zucchini, celery, all my standard stuff. You can grow potatoes in containers. I've heard that, but what difference does it make? The bugs are still going to get them. Unless I've thought about putting some up on my deck. Like just try a couple of grow bags and see how that works on my deck, because I think it's because I'm so close to the woods. Because the closer to the woods it got, the worse the bugs got, right? I have okra seeds, but I don't know if I can grow okra here in my containers last year. Small harvest, but so yummy. Well, maybe I'll try some. Maybe I will just, do a bin on the deck, drill some holes in the bottom and do a bin on the deck. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, it's soon going to be time to start planting the garden, not planning. But I try and hold off as long as I can, because what happens is I end up starting things too soon. But I will be starting my leeks early. Not my leeks, my Spanish onions early. I will be starting my celery early as well. And I'm only planting 1 bed of celery this year. How old am I? I'm planting potatoes in buckets. I have about 20 buckets so far. I am 58 years old. I'll be 59 in a couple of weeks. I overwintered celery last year to get some celery seed this year. Wow, did that work? I guess you wouldn't know yet, eh? I know. No, every year my dining room table becomes my seed starting thing. And you remember, I didn't tell you, I had these great big massive plastic drop cloths from when we were doing the tie-dyeing, and Howie saved them. They're going to be covering my dining room, right? So in the ground to get more and bigger from the ground. Huh. I'm making lasagna freezer meals today. Got my seeds and I want to organize too. I'm 58 years old. I'll be 59 on the 10th. My card smelled like celery from you, Bev. Can't wait to plant the seeds. You're welcome. You're welcome. Now listen, guys, it's come to the time for us to say goodbye. And let's have a little prayer. Thank you. Hey, Rose, how are you, darling? Did you use ball canning book to learn how to can? No, I never had a ball canning book. I've never had one. I think somebody sent me one once, and I actually gave it away to my niece when I bought her a canner. I learned how to can. Last question. I learned how to can um, from my landlord when we first moved to Colborne when I was pregnant with Briar the following summer. She had a pressure canner, and she showed like I was visiting her. I have a cup of coffee with my landlord's wife. We were pretty good buddies, and she had been canning, and she had all these jars of green beans, and I'm looking at them because I love canned green beans. And I said, "How did you do that?" And she said, "With a pressure canner." And I said, "Really?" And she said, "Bev, I'm doing beans tomorrow. Come on over and learn." And it took me weeks to save up the $129 for the canner. Now we're talking 1996 or 1996 when I learned how to pressure can. And she taught me. And when I bought my pressure canner, the pressure canner came with a guidebook on how to use it and recipes and what to can and how to can them. Every pressure canner, as far as I know, has one of those books. That's how I learned how to pressure can, right? Anyway, for all those who care to, please help me close with some spiritual nourishment. This is for those who want to. You don't have to have a religion. You don't have to have, you just need to connect with your higher power. And I will connect with mine, and we'll drop all the boundaries that religion slams between us, and we will come together and we will share our love and our light that we get from our higher power. And we will also ask our higher power to lift all the people up that are having a hard time. Okay? This is not, you don't have to stay. There's no judgment if you don't want to stay. Okay? That's if it's not your gig, it's not your gig, right? All right. For all those who care to, please help me close with some spiritual nourishment. Let's start with some nice, deep, cleansing breaths. And if you're leaving, take care. God bless. I love you, and we'll see you tomorrow. All right? In with the fresh, out with the sour. In with love, out with fear. Hey, God, creator and one source of all. How's it going? Thank you for the beautiful snow and the firewood on my deck to keep us warm. Thank you that I could get out of bed under my own steam today. Another day on my feet. Thank you, God. Thank you for all my friends and family who join me in lifting everybody's spirits up and sharing love and information and community spirit. There's a lot of folks out there, God, who are not having it so easy. I mean, none of us have it easy, but the truth is we count our blessings. There's a lot of people out there, God, who don't know how, who are so bogged down in the things that have been going on in their lives over the past whatever amount of time, that they just can't see their blessings to count them. So God, we want to lift these people up to you. Shine the light of your love on their blessings so that they may see them and count them and receive the gratitude that comes with counting your blessings. Thank you, God. Thank you, God, for making us aware that we have these choices, because we can lean on you when we're not strong. You're always there. You'll help us carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Thank you, God. Thank you, God, for my breath, my life, the blankets on my bed, the roof over my head, and the food in my pantry. For these things, I am blessed and truly grateful. Amen. Shalom. You'll be 62 years old. Well, Willow, make sure I have your name tomorrow and that you are on. And if we don't go live on our Half Acre Homestead, we will be going live on Life with the Wolfies. That's a given. All right. Patrons, I will see you in about 20 minutes. I love you guys. Take care. God bless. And we'll see you again soon. Mwah! I love you. Never forget that.